Jason Goolesby.
And since, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We will not be doing this show tomorrow. We figured we'd go ahead and just bring it to you a day early so that y'all can enjoy our wonderful faces around your Thanksgiving table this holiday season.
You said we'll not be doing this show tomorrow, and I thought you was going to say something else. We'll not be doing this. And I was like, oh, no, not on live.
No. I know how to curtail that.
Okay.
So,
yeah, because I'm looking forward to eating a lot of food.
Yeah.
Let's start with tomorrow's game.
Which is the Egg Bowl. How did it ever get named the Egg Bowl?
I'm not sure.
If somebody knows that, please tell us, because I really would like to know. I would like to go to the Grove at some point. Maybe when we all become one conference and there's no East or West, no more division in the SEC, I'll get to go to an Ole Miss game. But with that being said, I'm going to pick Ole Miss to beat Mississippi State.
Okay.
I feel like Ole Miss may be a little mad after last weekend.
Arkansas beat the brakes off of them.
They did. They did.
I'm going to pick the Pirate.
Oh.
I think the Pirate, wait for it, is going to...
Set sail?
I think the Pirate is going to steal their booty. Get it? Their booty, the Pirate is going to kick their booty. That's what I should say. Their booty.
Yeah, that probably would have... That pun would have been better. Kick their booty. Yeah.
And you know what? I haven't watched this game because usually it's one of the few college games that's on television.
Well, and it's in between the 3 NFL games that we get on Thursday.
And so it is always, it's just weird. It is one of those weird rivalry games. And I think Ole Miss, I'm not a Rocky Topper, so I don't hate Lane like all you guys watching.
I would take Lane as a coach. I mean, he's grown up. He's gotten a lot better.
Supposedly he had a meeting with his players yesterday where he said he's not leaving Ole Miss.
Lane's going to Auburn.
Lane's not going to Auburn. They hired someone, didn't they?
No, I don't know.
Not yet.
No, they haven't? Okay.
Anyways, Lane had a meeting with his players yesterday, said he wasn't going anywhere. So
and let's face it, Auburn.
Call
Liberty, find out what his buyout is, bring Hugh Freeze back. Then you can mess with 2 teams in the West. You can mess with Alabama, and you can mess with Ole Miss.
I don't want Hugh Freeze to come to Auburn because he always had Saban's number when he was Ole Miss.
That's what I'm saying.
I got Auburn money-making idea.
They're going to freeze Alabama.
No. Somebody in Auburn.
Just send me a check.
Somebody in Auburn, if you want to maybe start a dating service, Hugh Freeze coming to Auburn.
Look, he's gone to Liberty. He's suffered. That's all I'm saying.
He's a great coach.
He really is.
All right. Arkansas, Missouri.
I'm going to go with Arkansas in that game.
Arkansas is only a 3-point favorite in that game. I'll tell you what, and it's at Missouri.
Who's Arkansas's good defender? He's got that weird name.
Catalan?
No.
Well, one of them got dismissed.
Defensive end or outside linebacker?
No, I can't remember.
White guy.
Oh, the guy that came from...
did he come from
Drew Sanders.
No, you're thinking of the corner that came from Alabama.
The edge rusher. He's edge rusher. The white dude. It was Drew Sanders, right? That came from Alabama. Anyways, I bet you, even though, I'm going to go with Missouri.
Really?
I am.
At home?
Yeah, at home, because I think the defense is really good. Missouri is hungry, and I think Missouri is going to see this as one last chance to get there. They are 5-6. This is be bowl eligibility for them. So I'm going to go.
And Arkansas is bowl eligible, correct?
Arkansas is bowl eligible. I'll go with Missouri.
I'm gonna stick with Arkansas. I think KJ Jefferson played out of his mind last week. They got everything Rocket Sanders was playing really good. All right, so we got Florida State
But
next.
They did get beat by Liberty the week before.
They did,
and I called that.
Program. And I called that.
You did call that. Do you want to go in this?
I'll go ahead. Look, Florida fans, I know there's not many of us probably watching here, but just hear me out. It's been a terrible season by any standards of Florida football measure. With that being said, it's also our coach's first year. Did we have a Heupel-like thing? No, we weren't playing a bunch of players before our coach got there. So the cupboard wasn't as full as it was at Tennessee, other than secondary players. Apparently, Pruitt didn't want to pay secondaries. Corners and safeties are now what's killing Tennessee. But, hey, y'all got plenty of good offensive and defensive linemen that Pruitt was paying. With that being said, I think that Florida finishes strong, and they get Florida State. It is at Tallahassee. That does concern me. And Florida State's been playing pretty good against ACC talent, which is, South Carolina Vanderbilt talent. So,
Well, I know, and my good friend Keith Boykin here knows I'm not a Gator hater by any means, but I am going to go with Florida State. I watched a lot of that Florida Vanderbilt game. I actually was reffing basketball.
I was
texting you. Yeah, I got to see the second half of it.
Well, you didn't see much.
And
pretty.
Florida, they just looked bad. They just did. And I know Vanderbilt and we know that Vanderbilt always gives them a good game at home. But I'll go with Florida State. But I would be fine if Florida wins.
We'll come back to that game. So
okay,
we'll scroll up, and we'll come back to that game.
Okay, let's go down here to the very bottom and come back.
LSU and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out there real quick.
Uh-huh.
If A&M beats LSU and TCU loses to
whomever.
Yeah, forget Iowa State.
Yeah.
We're sitting right outside.
Hey, Alabama is?
We're sitting right outside.
Boy, I don't know.
Because Michigan and Ohio State, one's going to take out each other.
Yeah, which is what I've been trying to tell Tennessee fans this entire time that they had a hissy fit about TCU is, why are you even worried about TCU? Michigan and Ohio State would have taken care of each other. You would have been there at the doorsteps had you just won your games. But, then Spencer Rattler, who hadn't thrown 8 touchdowns all year, comes out and throws 5 touchdowns on you.
I think LSU...
Anyways.
I think LSU... I think LSU...
Wins?
It is a night game at Kyle Field, but let me tell you, this Texas A&M, they're like a piece of old celery that's been sitting out on the counter for a long time, and it's just kind of... They are weak as hot dog water. I'm telling you, they are... They're not good.
So even if Texas A&M beats LSU, LSU still gets to go, right?
Yeah,
because they've
LSU
only one SEC loss.
SEC championship, yeah.
They still get to go to the SEC championship. Texas A&M, we're not talking about spreads or anything.
So I think Texas A&M wins this game. I bet Brian Kelly sits some people.
I don't know. No, because he needs to win to try to...
They're on the cusp of the playoff.
The playoffs.
That would be his ultimate goal, right?
Yeah, but...
Because they could, stranger after
to
last
make the
week,
playoff, he needs to win out.
He does. I agree with that, but...
All right. So, and
I don't know if they make the playoffs. Even if they beat Georgia, I don't know if
I think a one-loss Ohio State or Michigan gets in before Alabama does, and I'm just...
And the same thing with the 2-loss LSU.
But see, we're sitting at number 7. Right below us, number 6 is USC, and they play Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame could beat them.
Tennessee...
I think Notre Dame could beat USC.
Tennessee...
They've been playing better.
Alabama has not looked good, but I'm telling you, we have not whatever was in the air last Saturday night that caused the Vols just not to play, but South Carolina is a not good team, and they...
All right, so you went with LSU?
LSU, yeah.
I'm going to go with Texas A&M. I don't know that LSU gets it done. So we've got Kentucky versus Louisville, and it's at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Is this... I understand that Louisville's ranked. I don't know why Louisville's ranked other than the fact that they play in the ACC and it's just easier competition. I don't know that Kentucky loses to LSU. I think Kentucky beats LSU. Kentucky beats Louisville. I'm still over here thinking about Texas A&M and LSU. I think Kentucky beats Louisville.
I think Levis will show out to get his NFL stock up there a little bit higher. We've talked about Will Wranglers, Levi's.
Levis.
All season.
Levis.
And it's been really fun. He's a tough guy. It'll be interesting to see what he does in the NFL because he absolutely has nobody around him at Kentucky. That offensive line is porous. It's like a screen door on a submarine. That's everybody runs through it, and it is right. I mean, what they're and he does. Chris Rodriguez is a good running back, but they got no offensive line, and he just
we say that
he gets beat up.
And then they went down and ran the ball and controlled the tempo against Georgia.
Yeah.
And maybe Georgia had some people sitting that night, trying to save some legs.
I do think Stoops will outcoach whoever the coach is at Louisville.
And then so we got Clemson, South Carolina.
Now, this is interesting to me, and I don't want to jump on the South Carolina bandwagon because if you've watched us, you both know that we're not big
Spencer Rattler's terrible.
We are not big on South Carolina.
Tennessee made him look like a Heisman
He has had
candidate.
one great game his entire college career, and that was last Saturday night. And you can say whatever about how bad Tennessee's defense and secondary is, but South Carolina's bad. He was not a good quarterback.
No.
We have ranked him in the bottom third of SEC quarterbacks. He's right down there with A.J. Swan and is it Lee?
Is that the Vanderbilt backup quarterback that got set? Okay.
I mean, this kid, he is in the bottom.
Oh yeah,
bottom tier.
Wrong.
He's in the bottom 4 of SEC quarterbacks.
Absolutely, and y'all made him look like a stud.
He is, and so I don't want to hear that we got bad defense. It wasn't Bryce Young out there throwing them dimes, dropping dimes on you. It was Spencer Rattler. But I do think this. Clemson was so pathetic looking against Notre Dame. I don't know how Notre Dame. Did I send you a link to that article that was on ESPN?
Yes.
It's Notre Dame could be the X factor in the playoffs, and I'm like, why? Or I get it. These people have got to talk and they got to comment because that's what they get paid to do.
Well, but
no, this team got beat by Stanford and Marshall. Why are we even talking about them in the college football playoffs? Notre Dame has gotten better. But they beat the brakes off.
But I don't think that they mean that they're going to get into the playoffs. I think that they're saying that Notre Dame was going to take Clemson out. Now they have a chance to take USC out and be that X factor of eliminating teams into the playoffs.
Could be, yeah. You might be.
With that being said, I think Clemson beats South Carolina because of everything that you have just said. That South Carolina is bad.
Yeah. I think Clemson does beat South Carolina too. It is a 11 a.m. game at Clemson. It is going to be low energy. Everything will be going towards Clemson. It's not going to be Columbia,
in favor for South Carolina.
Columbia on a Saturday night where weird things kind of happen at SEC stadiums on Saturday night. So
and really, South Carolina, if there's a way that you could just maybe start playing North Carolina, that would be more of a game. Maybe leave Clemson alone for a few years.
Do they even play them?
No, they don't.
Okay.
Well, Clemson is in South Carolina.
I know that.
Okay, I'll play devil's advocate here. You come off a giant win at home against Tennessee, and Beamer ball keeps rolling and beats Clemson.
We talk about the SEC short and stuff like that. There's a guy who's hairless on the Facebook.
Anthony something.
But he has these big old shades every time he talks about South Carolina and Beamer ball and swag. They're pretty funny. You should go check them out. With that being said, I understand that you're saying that maybe South Carolina's got some oomph behind them because they beat Tennessee at home. I don't think that travels.
Yeah,
I think Clemson smacks them around and
Georgia Tech at Athens.
That's not even a game.
Yeah.
Georgia Tech, I just collect your check and move on. Thank you.
I will like to say good luck to Georgia Tech. I have a connection to Georgia Tech. One of my really long friends in high school and a teammate of mine, his name was Charles Pyron. We called him Scooter Pyron. His son, Zach Pyron, is a quarterback for Georgia Tech. Unfortunately, in the Florida State game or whatever, 2 weeks ago, he got his collarbone broken. He was actually the second or third Georgia Tech quarterback to come in, and then now...
Maybe they need to be looking for some offensive linemen.
Now he's... So, it's fun when you have somebody that and his son is the starting quarterback, and you're texting him during the game saying, "Hey, that was a good play." It's interesting. But Zach Pyron, injured quarterback for Georgia Tech. You know that Georgia Tech really has changed since they fired the coach. They got that momentum and the interim there, but I do not see anything.
You don't see Georgia losing to Georgia Tech?
I don't.
So we've taken this long path around to get to there?
Yeah.
Can we daydream for a second, though?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. There's no reason to
All right.
even entertain.
Let's get to. I will even go my game first.
No. Let's save that one for end because I think that you're going to go along on that one, and we'll go a little shorter on this.
So
Tennessee versus Vanderbilt, and I'm just going to lay it out. I think Vandy's riding high. They may get their third SEC win in a row for the first time. Has that ever happened?
See,
let me know if that. I mean, maybe.
Let's think about third in a row. What's the number of?
What's his name that's coaching at Penn State?
Franklin.
James Franklin. Did it happen during the Franklin era? Because if it didn't happen during the Franklin era, there's not another era that it would have happened in.
What is
Vanderbilt?
What is the number
for that?
Let's think about what the number 3 means in the Bible and all the resurrection and all that stuff. This could be significant. The third SEC win.
Are you saying
the Holy Trinity Bible is because it would be biblical if they won.
Are you saying this is the beginning? Is this the first sign of the apocalypse? If Vanderbilt wins 3 games in a row and the third game is against Tennessee, is this the sign of the end of times?
It's at 6:30. If the tickets are cheap enough, I'd buy them off of you, Tennessee fans, and take them to my son to it. If they were cheap enough, but I'm not paying $100.
Oh, I'm sure they're probably pretty cheap right now. I'm sure Tennessee fans are cashing in.
I don't think they are cheap. I had to guess. I'll say suddenly this game has become very.
All right, fact finder. Let's see. Let's see what the price of tickets are there.
You know what?
But I am going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say that Vandy gets their third SEC win in a row. You've got Joe Milton coming in at quarterback who hasn't played all season.
The conditions are ripe. Like a peach.
I'm telling you.
A peach.
I think that Vandy can stay at home and get this upset.
Cheapest tickets are $68.
$68 a ticket.
And there's not a bad seat.
And hold on. No, it's not because it's a glorified high school stadium. Let's face it, boys and girls.
It's
Vanderbilt is the smallest
Texas
stadium in the SEC. In Texas, that is a high school stadium. I just want everybody to understand they hold 30,000 people. That's it.
But the hot dogs are full price, trust me.
And the PA system is terrible.
But to think
and it's easy to lose a kid when you're there.
No,
but
it's
to
not.
think that used to
I
be.
took 3 of them with me Saturday, brought all 3 back.
I lose kids when I go there.
To think that used to be one of the
guy.
main venues for like concerts and stuff.
Oh, it used to be, yeah. Pink Floyd played there.
That's where
U2 played, or maybe U2
that's where the Titans played when they were the Oilers.
That's correct.
They
all
played
in
one year
season.
Memphis. 1 year.
Yeah, they got chased out of Memphis.
And so
nobody came.
When I was in college, and we would work the concession stands at the Oilers games to raise money for fraternity for Kappa Sig, and so we would have to stay late, inventory all the food, and make sure all our money matched up and stuff. And I had to stay there really late. And that was the one time that I got to see Eddie George in person. They were walking him out to his, and he is a big man. And especially when you think about somebody that big running the football. It's got very much appropriate that Derrick Henry is also at the top.
Actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I was talking with somebody the other day, and I just said I don't know during that era which one I would have rather tackled, Steve McNair or Eddie George. I think I'd just gotten out of the way of both of them. If
I think you were talking to me about that actually.
Yeah, like I don't know that I would have wanted to wrap either one of those guys up.
Speaking of Eddie George,
because I ran into him physically after a Titans game, and he knocked me down.
Let's digress.
Just walking.
Just a little bit. You remember how Ray Lewis was the bad man and the Baltimore Ravens were our big rival?
Yeah, because he killed somebody.
Right. Yeah, he really was.
Somebody killed. I'm sorry.
He was a bad man, not just because he was bad on the field. He caught charges. Anyways,
he did.
And
while he sat in his limo,
everybody was scared of him, and he was, ripping heads off and stuff.
I'd be scared of him right now.
Do you remember where? I remember watching the game where Eddie George is running to the left, so he's got his dominant hand, and Ray Lewis comes flying up and is going to tackle Eddie George, and he stiff arms him and puts his butt on his back. Yeah. Big Ray Lewis, and I'm like, and we don't see that highlight enough. We need to see that.
There's a short docuseries out about the two of them.
The reason why you don't see that is because Ray Lewis asked that photographer if he wanted to go for a limo ride. It just disappeared.
It just disappeared. You want to go for you want to go for a limo ride?
He's
You
like,
remember that
no.
joke? Want to go for a boat ride?
Yes. That's a joke that we're not going to bring up.
We're not going to talk about.
All right, so we've got one more game left.
Matter of fact, do not Google that. Do not Google
Actually,
that. You'll
go
think,
ahead.
You'll
It's
think less.
funny.
I never picked. I will.
You didn't pick Tennessee or Vandy?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tennessee, but I think all the conditions are right for Vanderbilt to win.
I think it is too.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, we have one game left. The Iron
premier
Bowl.
game.
The biggest game on this
The
weekend.
premier game. The only game that matters.
For some people. Because Florida State's pretty big for me.
So when...
Maybe one of the actual few games that I get to watch.
I'm born and
from
raised
start
in
to finish.
Alabama State. I was there until I came up to Middle Tennessee in 1995, much to many of your chagrins. And this was the big game. And I never knew how big the Alabama-Tennessee was until I moved up here and got around a bunch of Tennessee fans. And
so it's not a very big game down in Alabama?
Oh, it is. That's the only rivalry we really care about.
Is Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee. No, Auburn.
That's what I thought. That's what I'm saying. The Tennessee-Alabama game is not big game in Alabama?
It is huge. Let me tell you, I don't think it probably doesn't happen as much now because it's just a different era or whatever. But you can always bet when I was a kid, the Monday after the Iron Bowl, if it was pretty enough for us to go outside during PE,
somebody was getting their butt kicked.
There were fights every Monday after the Iron Bowl because the little kids wear their Alabama shirts and the kids wear their Auburn shirts. And then what boys do? You get out there and you start playing tag football. Yep. He's got the Auburn shirt on. You shove him kind of hard. And I remember one of our teachers one time,
sounds like that's how school should still be.
I remember one of our teachers one time sorting all this stuff out, and you had teachers that were paddlers and some that just made you sit down, which was worse. You'd rather get paddled than get to go back and play. And some that would do both. But I remember one of our teachers...
I don't want to be paddled.
I remember one of our teachers going, I wish they just didn't even play that football game. She was so frazzled because there were big fights. I have seen...
But hold on. There's like families arresting each other and fights and...
Whatever happened to the guy that poisoned the trees outside the stadium?
Oh, I forgot about the Alabama fan.
Is he still locked up?
What is that? Tumors Cove?
Tumors Corner.
Tumors Corner.
Is he still locked up?
No, he went to jail.
Yeah.
And, speaking of weird things.
But have the trees died?
I think
they saved him.
I think they did save him.
I think they managed
So
to
is that why he probably didn't spend any more time in jail?
And they did have a plan to transplant some that were similar. They were going to
think about all the money they were going to spend on some trees.
Auburn is agriculture. You just watch. When you don't have anything, turn Fine Bomb on and just listen for. And you will see. There's a lot of day drinkers that come on Fine Bomb, and they have a lot. They have fun with them, and that's where that guy called in. He was Harvey from. He said his name was Harvey from
Huntsville.
I can't remember. And that's where he come on and confessed that he had poisoned the trees, and then they went back and found he was an ex-state trooper.
Yeah,
he was a former Alabama state trooper, and he poisoned the trees because he was mad.
And look, there ain't been nobody poisoning trees in the Florida State game.
Was that the year that Cam Newton maybe did the big comeback against Alabama?
No, I think that was the year after the kick six.
Yeah,
2014.
I would like to wish my wife happy Thanksgiving and a happy anniversary because one year they played the Iron Bowl.
Wait.
There's a tie.
Okay.
There's a tie-in. So the year that we got married in 2011, we got married on a Saturday, but the Iron Bowl was played on a Friday that year. And that was the year that Greg McElroy was quarterback for Alabama.
Yes,
and
comeback.
Had the 24-0 or something, or 24-6. And we were having our wedding rehearsal dinner at my in-laws' house, and we were all sitting there watching the football game and just watching Cam Newton lead this comeback. And then my wife goes in there flips. She is trying to. There was a breaker in another part of the house that had went off because we had too much stuff, and so she goes into the breaker and just starts flipping breakers. And she flipped
like you do.
And she flipped. Instead of figuring out which one had flipped, she flipped and turned the TV off.
Not everybody knows that trick.
She got introduced.
Did she get taught to look and see which breaker was loose?
She got introduced to the ire that you get, and the stank eye you get when you turn off the because we couldn't get the thing to come back on
quick enough.
And my brother-in-law and sister had moved their RV up here and was staying out in the yard.
So y'all went outside.
And so everybody, we didn't even, it won't work. So everybody shuffled out and went out to the RV and sat and watched the game. And then we saw the biggest come back, and we said that it was Beth's fault because she flipped the breakers. She turned it, she changed it.
So wait. It really wasn't a happy anniversary, or a happy Thanksgiving.
November 27th.
You just wanted to complain about her.
November 27th, which is Sunday. That was our anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary.
So I'm going with...
happy anniversary.
I'm definitely going with Alabama. Would it surprise me that...
I'm not going with Auburn. Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama.
I just don't think... I think they
Cadillac's wheels come off this game.
They've kind of gotten over the glow of, hey, we fired our coach, and now the newness is kind of worn off. They struggled against a Western Kentucky team there very early. They wound up beating them by a lot.
They did.
But
actually, at halftime, I was like, I picked another one.
Western Kentucky is kind of, it's the lower
Division One
division. And even though Bailey Zappi, the backup for New England, was their quarterback, and
he led
all these, and their center was a Friendship kid or a Lebanon kid. There was some kind of connection. The center for him was
maybe
a Wilson County kid.
I don't know.
But anyway, somebody can comment on that if you've watched this long.
And we appreciate it if you've watched this long. I would like to think there's wonderful, funny nuggets spread through.
Well, somebody that's walking or listening in their car wants to go back and some very quality audio broadcasting.
Yes. We're two funny guys.
Hit us up on our Patreon, and
we'll sell your house right now.
My Venmo address is
that is the downside to listening to all the podcasts. Everybody wants you to send them some money.
I will say it makes me feel a lot better that Cadillac is the coach and not Malzahn. I mean, you Auburn fans can say whatever you want, but Malzahn and Tuberville and those coaches always dialed something up special for Alabama and played spoiler a lot of years. Now, there's a few years that Alabama beat them up, but...
Where's Sammy Tuberville now?
He's a senator in Alabama.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's a senator. He's one of our federal senators. I mean, he's in Washington. So,
well, you don't live in that state anymore.
No, but
you live in Tennessee.
So, yeah, I think Alabama. Here's the thing that bothers me. Has Alabama packed it in? Hopefully not, because hopefully they still believe that, hey, we're on the cusp. If some really crazy things happen, we could still get in. I don't think that's going to happen, but...
I'm just hoping my Gators can come to the Music City Bowl so I can see them here.
What if...
They're probably not. It's probably going to be some bowl in Florida.
What if something really crazy, like Georgia got beat by Georgia Tech, and then LSU beat Georgia in the SEC championship game? Just what if?
And Georgia's just done completely.
And then Georgia's done.
Okay, Alabama, Tennessee fans.
LSU's in, and maybe Alabama's in, even though Tennessee beat them, because Tennessee got 63 hung on them by Spencer Baby Rattler.
Didn't Tennessee hang 63 on LSU?
37.
Pretty close.
37-10. Spencer Baby Rattler. Why have we been calling him that all the time?
It was like 40,
Spencer Baby Rattler.
49 to something.
Yeah, I thought it was that. Yeah.
I'm sure you're a good kid, Spencer. Maybe not. Probably not. You're probably a jerk.
I don't know. When you're over on the sidelines counting 5 touchdowns on your finger when you ain't thrown but 8 all season, that doesn't come off as someone, pretty nice to me.
Anyways,
just be thankful you got, 5 touchdowns. You almost doubled your touchdown production in one game.
And he had to take his shoes off to count above 10.
In all fairness, though, let's be real here. In a perfect world.
My shoes are dirty.
Okay. From an Alabama fan standpoint, in a perfect world, TCU loses to Iowa State this week. Michigan or Ohio State take care of one another either way. One of them's going to lose. Then USC loses to Notre Dame, which is very possible. And then all you have to worry about is LSU possibly losing to Texas A&M, and then we're right there behind them.
It could happen.
And that's the possibility without a championship game.
So
we would be the first two-loss team without a championship.
I just want you to all understand that you're all fan bases are this way. Tennessee's over here trying to figure out how they're still going to get in. Alabama's still out here trying to figure out how they're going to get in. LSU's just praying that the grace of God that will rain down on them and they can get in. Every fan base does
Big
this.
Nick, if you're listening to this, bring Pruitt back. We need him. As a matter of fact, if some of my people on Sand Mountain are watching this, I know I put this up there. Some of y'all probably have Jeremy's phone number. I know some of my friends are on Facebook or his fan. Tell Jeremy we need him back in Tuscaloosa. We need him back. We need that recruit. We need a recruiter back. Pete's got to go. Pete's got to go. Bill O'Brien's got to go.
He recruits pretty well.
O'Brien's gone.
He recruits pretty well with McDonald's bags.
He's and that's legal now. You can do that. Hey, O'Brien is as gone as that Arizona Cardinals assistant that got fired for groping some lady in Mexico City. How do you go to Mexico City and grope somebody and get fired before the Monday night game?
He probably thought it was part of the package.
Todd Downing? How do you
get off the plane at 4:30 in the morning?
Here's the thing,
and you're arrested for DUI.
Here's the thing about that, and I'm sure the league will probably do some investigating.
Because he went to the office, had a few drinks.
No. I'll tell you exactly what happened.
What he thinks happened.
I'll tell you exactly what happened.
What he thinks happened
as a former avid drinker. Let me tell you exactly what happened. All right, so it's a big deal. All right, and
called a perfect game.
He
probably
got
the best damn game he's called since he's been a Titan.
He got on that game, and he got on that plane. He had his own private stash, and he started drinking right after the game on the way back. I can tell you, there is no way.
That's a big fine.
There is no way that you get arrested at 2. You finish a game in Green Bay, you come to Tennessee, and you get arrested at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning if you've not already started drinking a long time before that. So the Commanders got in trouble. Because I hate calling them the Commanders.
No, I don't know who you're talking about. Are we talking about the Redskins? Okay.
The Washington Football Club.
No.
The Redskins.
That's a soccer team.
So the Redskins got fined. If you not follow that, the Redskins got fined because Heineke had a social media picture of them with beers on the plane, and you're not supposed to have alcohol in any of that.
That's right.
And so what's going to go into that Todd Downing investigation?
But I mean,
now, they're going to
who
investigate.
Doesn't like to fly with a good drink?
Let me tell you this, how things have changed so much. Tony Dungy's book, and when he was a Steeler, and Craig Colquitt that lives here in Lebanon, a former teammate,
help you out there.
And he can tell you this. Used to, when you got on a plane, every player was given a ration of 2 beers.
Yep.
2 beers. And because Tony Dungy wasn't a drinker, his buddies always like, can I have your beer? Can I have your beer? And Tony Dungy said, I always thought that was like we were supposed to be well conditioned because he played for the Steelers, Dungy did, and he said, I always thought we're going to a game and you're giving us this thing that is not
it's going to slow us down.
Not good for our body. So the league has changed a lot because it used to be given beers and it doesn't happen anymore. So all right, that's about 30, 45 minutes long. I need to go put a sign up because I got a listing.
Where'd you get a listing at?
Out on Simmons Bluff Road, not too far.
Yeah, I've got one out on Simmons Bluff Road.
He's got one out on Simmons Bluff Road, and I need to call my sister, who's calling me right now. So,
you want to say anything else? Mine's 1,730 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, out on Simmons Bluff Road, almost an acre.
Old single wide that probably should be pulled off on 5 acres at 5373 Simmons Bluff Road. It is.
It's got water and sewer.
Water and sewer already. It is a very narrow lot, but it's very deep. It's 5 acres, and it backs up to Cedars.
Sounds like a good building lot.
Backs up to Cedars 11 State Park, so you can walk back and go into the state park, and I don't think you can shoot squirrels, but you can probably go back over there and. You might shoot squirrels over there. They might. I'm not sure. I don't know. Check into your local regulations, but you can walk back all the way back there.
I don't know that you can hunt
and explore.
I don't know that you can hunt on Cedar Falls property.
Anyways, all right. Jason Goolesby.
Keith Boykin. Thank you guys.
Happy Thanksgiving.